Hey everyone, it is Jay Soloff from Investors Alley, and this is our options trade of the week. So this is not a trade from one of my services. This is a trade for educational purposes only. So we are here at marketchameleon.com looking at the unusual options volume page. It's something I look at pretty much on a daily basis to see where the action is. I also like to sort it by volume to see where the most active options chains are, and in this case it's an AMD, the chip maker. Haven't seen this one up top for a while. 79% calls, 21% puts. The more calls you see tends to be bullish. It makes sense. The stock was up 5% today and has been up the last couple days quite a bit. So the news is it's been negative for Intel. They had a production delay. So presumably AMD can pick up some of that business, which is why it's getting this sort of bullish action. And if we look at the trades, we might see something to support that. So let's do that. Same thing with trades. I sort it by quantity because I like to see where the block trades are. And block trades, I think, tend to be a little bit tend to be done by institutions and maybe a little bit better accurate sort of directional indicator. So immediately I see this covered call here, what I assume is a covered call because it is stock contingent, which means it's tied to stock. It looks like sold at 720 with the bid price at 710. So it looks like an option was sold. So assuming it's not some kind of closing trade, which this certainly selling calls, buying stock, which seems to be the case here. Very likely a covered call, despite the fact that there is enough open interest to cover it. I would not guess this is a closing trade. I would guess this is an opening trade. It also is nearly 6 months to expiration, so it makes sense if this sort of trade is done every 6 months because the expiration is in January and we're on the last day of June. So assuming that this is a roughly 6 months, well, by the time you get to expiration, it's a little bit closer to 7, but assuming you do this trade a couple times a year, you can pick up some pretty decent premium. So this is about 2.1 million collected. That equals about 7.5% with the stock at 93. So if you do this a couple times a year, you're looking at about 15% gains, 15% return on cash, which is not bad at all. Granted, AMD is a little bit riskier in the sense that it's gone up quite a bit lately. It's a relatively volatile stock that's about 93. By selling the 105 calls, the trader's capping the gains at 105, but that's still about $12 from here. So it gives it some upside potential. It's assuming that it's probably going to slow its climb, but that may not be the point of this trade. The point of this trade may be to capture some very nice premium. So let's take a look here. So here's the 6-month chart, and you can see it's gone somewhat parabolic since the Intel news. So that may not hold. You can see it's been this high before, but it didn't stay up here for long. So selling the 105 call up here, makes sense in terms of a relatively safe way to capture premium without leaving money on the table. Of course, there is downside potential, but if you're just owning the stock, that potential is there anyways. So looking at, if you just wanted to see what a trade like that would look like here, go to January 105. You can see that most of the volume today was that covered call. Stock has gone up since then a bit, so the price is a little bit higher, but there it is, selling the call. And that's what that covered call looks like. So interesting trade if you're not super worried about downside risk in AMC. Decent way to generate some premium and also have some upside potential. If you're interested in learning about options, Option Floor Trader Pro, there's a link on this page. It's sort of a beginner service at buying calls and puts. If you're interested in learning about that sort of thing, check it out. I will be back next week for another trade of the week.